It's hot, 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 hot. Hi, and welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, hi. This is my channel. This video is called I Ran Out of Ideas and I'm Very Unoriginal. This is really scary to have my camera this close to the tub. The idea behind this video, don't worry Mom, I'm wearing a bathing suit. Let's get some foam to cover up my rolls. The idea behind this video is that I wanted to take a bath, and this was the only way that I could think of justifying it. Oh, I'm gonna tell a story. When I was in Venice, if you watched my Venice vlog, I met some really cool girls who were also solo travelers. While I was there, we spent an entire day like going around together, and it was so much fun, and they're so cool. We had a great time. But there was a big possibility that I wasn't gonna see them again. One of the girls actually lives in Florida, like 2 hours away from me, which is crazy, small world, right? So she is actually going back she's already back in the States. So the week after I was in Venice, she came to Munich, and I decided I was gonna go to Munich to visit her. So we got sushi, and then we went and got drinks, and I was taking the train back, and because I was kind of sick, and it was the last train, so it was around 12:30 at night, but because I was sick, I fell asleep on the train. And if you know anything about trains, sleeping on them isn't the best idea because eventually you have to get off the train. I'm gonna put soap on. I used Dove soap. So I fell asleep on the train, and I kept waking up like every single stop, which was good, you know, that way I could get off. And then I fell asleep, and literally I was like counting down the stops, and I would wake up and we would be at a stop. The only stop that I didn't wake up for was my stop. So I slept through my stop, and I went to the next stop. Because my ticket only went to my stop, I had to get off the train at the next stop, and the ticket lady came, and I was like, oh my gosh, did they already pass Rosenheim? And she was like, yes, that was the last stop. And I was like, what? So then I had to get off at the next stop, which happened to be a really small town. There was no more trains running until 5 a.m. It was 1:10. I arrived at this small town, and I tried to figure out a way to call a cab. But because I didn't get a bank account until just now, and it was so expensive to just keep putting money on my SIM card, I didn't have a way to use a phone. I have to use my phone with Wi-Fi. So I was stranded without a phone, plus my phone was at 10%. So I connected to the town Wi-Fi, which I got 30 minutes of Wi-Fi on, and I called my friend who I had just visited in Munich, and I asked her,
can you try to call a cab for me because I can't call one?
And she felt so bad. She shouldn't, it was really my fault. I'm the one who fell asleep on the train, but she felt really bad, and I love her. I'm shaving now, by the way. I use the EOS Sensitive shave cream. But she tried to call a taxi company anyway so that I could get home. So nice of her. And she called, I think, 4 taxi companies, and because it was 1 in the morning, they all went straight to voicemail. Great. You could like get through if you press the right numbers, but this pre-recorded message, voicemail, whatever, was in German because we're in Germany. So she doesn't know German. Why should she? She's a traveler and she's from America. And I don't know enough German to know what it said if I called either. So basically, there was no way. Then she tried to see if she could get me an Uber. And I don't really know where we ended up on that, but basically she couldn't figure out how to get me one, or they don't have Uber where we are. Either way, she couldn't figure out a way to get me the car. I said, no problem, don't worry about it, just go to sleep. Because, after all, it is my fault. I'll be fine. Now, I should mention at this part of the story that it was probably 35 or so degrees out. And I was wearing a sweatshirt and a leather jacket. Because in my mind, see, I'm going, the only time I have to be outside is when I'm biking from my house to the train station, which takes me maybe 6 minutes. So I could handle being cold for 6 minutes because then I would get on the train and then I would go to Munich and then I would be inside the train station, which was warm, and then I would go get drinks with my friend in a warm place, and then I would be back on the train, which was warm, and then I would bike back home for 6 minutes. And it wouldn't be a problem. So, no, I didn't wear my big winter coat. No, I didn't think about maybe putting on an extra jacket. I was wearing 3 layers. A t-shirt, sweatshirt, and a leather jacket. And let me tell you, I was freezing cold. Plus, the wind that night happened to be particularly strong and made it seem maybe 10 degrees colder. So there I was, stuck at a train station in a strange town with no way to call anyone. My phone was dying. I was freezing. And, not to mention, I had to work the next morning. I was worried, I was cold, and I was freaked out. So I did what any sane person would do, and I hid in the bathroom for 4 hours while I waited for the train to come. Like I said, the train was coming at 5:30, I think. I was so cold all night long. I kept trying to get on the toilet in a certain way where I could sleep, which was impossible because the toilet was freezing and the walls of the stall were freezing. I tried to wrap my jacket around my legs and my top, which was impossible because my jacket was so small. My leather jacket wasn't big enough. I tried to, okay, here's a little tangent real quick. If you ever watched Magic School Bus and you watched the Arctic episode, then you would remember that they're really cold and so they think, oh, paper is an insulator, and so then they shove paper in their jackets and it keeps them warm. So I took toilet paper and shoved it in my pants, hoping that it would keep my legs warm. And it didn't, really, but I tried. Yeah, it didn't work. And then you would know in that episode they also put lard on their bodies to keep warm. And I was really wishing in that moment that I had like a big thing of like animal fat. Oh, that would have been great. Now I have to wash my hair. So, I'm cold, I have paper in my pants, and I'm sick, and I still have about 3 hours left before my train comes. So, I do what any normal person would do, and I utilize what I have. Fun fact, this is the exact reason that I always carry around a lighter with me. People always ask me like, why do you have a lighter in your bag? Do you smoke secretly? Do you do crack? Do you smoke crack? Do you smoke crack? I don't know if that's actually how you do crack, and the answer to all of those questions is no. The reason I carry around a lighter with me is just in case I get stranded somewhere, very cold, or get lost in the woods and I need to make a fire or something, then that way I can make a fire. And it actually came in handy. I turned on the lighter with the flame as big as it would get, and I held my hands around it like it was a little fire and warmed up my frozen fingers. And I did this until my lighter ran out of lighter fluid. And that got me to about 3:45. At this point, I couldn't feel my feet. My fingers were close to being completely numb, and I was still a few hours away. So I propped my knees up on one side of the stall, I leaned against the other side, and I slept. Also, let me say, this whole night I was trying to act like I wasn't homeless, even though I basically was. I was really worried someone was gonna come in and catch me and kick me out. So that was a fun thing to do. Also, let me rinse my hair out. So I slept, and then at around 5, actually, I decided that it was close enough to the time of my train at about, I think I had 20 minutes to go. I got out of the stall and just stood in the bathroom near the door. I closed the door, which was propped open, a little bit, trying to give myself more warmth, which worked enough. And then a lady who actually worked for the train came into the bathroom, and she like saw me standing there, and she was like, "What are you doing? Are you okay?" Because I probably looked like I was on drugs because I was very sick, very sleep deprived, and very cold. And I told her, yes, I'm okay. I'm just trying to stay warm while I wait for the train because I was early. So early. So she laughed and said, okay. And I continued to wait for my train. And then my train came. I got on it. I came back to Rosenheim. That's pretty much the end of the story. Luckily, I didn't have to work until 12 that day, so I could actually sleep for a little bit longer, because by the time I got back here, I think it was 5:45, and I was very tired. So that's the story. Let me mention, it took me 8 hours to get warm after that. I was so cold, so I came back, I put on 2 sweatshirts, long pants, warm socks, climbed into my bed, piled all my blankets on me, slept. I didn't get warm, like I was still shivering, my skin still felt cold, until like 4 or 5 in the evening. It was bad. Yeah, and that was pretty much my foray into surviving in the urban wilderness, which is a fun name to call something. And yeah, that's gonna be my video for this week, because I didn't film anything else because I couldn't think of anything else. So I hope you enjoyed this story. I probably almost died of hypothermia, but in the end, everything was okay. And I got home safe and sound. And now I'm warm, and okay, looking, like, this might seem really sad and something, but looking back on it, like, it's just funny to me, because like I shoved toilet paper down my pants and I used a lighter as a little mini campfire. So at this point, it's just funny. In the moment, it was really sad, and I was really cold and not happy with my situation at all. But now it's just funny to me. So like it if you think it's funny, and like it if you think it's sad, and just comment below letting me know which is which, because I need the likes on my videos. Subscribe to my channel if you want more of this content. I know, it's gold. And I am getting ready for my trip to London next. I have to film the rest of this on my phone because my camera died. Oh, also here, you can see my tattoo really well in this video. I've got some exciting videos coming up. Subscribe to my second channel. Blah, blah, blah. My mother actually critiques all of my videos. She sends me, she basically roasts me, and she texts me everything that I need to change on it. But it's actually really helpful, so keep it up, Mom. Love it. So last video she said that I talked too much about my second channel in my upcoming videos. So that's all I'm gonna say about that. I'm not gonna say it anymore. And I'm gonna repeat this sentence a few times to make sure I say this part too much, but I'm not gonna say it anymore. Okay, okay, I will see you guys in the next video. Let me dry my hands so I can do my outro, which is just me covering the camera. Do you like all those rolls? That's really attractive. Bye.